Hi everyone, this is Noah Sandler from MTGOcademy.com, and today we're going to be doing a Rise of Eldrazi Swiss queue. They have that up not too much longer, but it's a pretty great, very unique format, so yeah, it'll be fun to check it out. So this pack, there's Fork Bolt, Heat Ray, and Regress as the strongest cards. There's not that much bounce in this format, and with lots of level up cards that take a while to get going, some good auras, the Umbras, and also Eldrazi's that you can cast off Eldrazi spawn. Regress is actually really good, but not as good as Heat Ray. So yeah, we're passing red and a blue card. But Heat Ray, one of the best commons, I think. There's actually a ton of great commons in this set, so might even be like second tier. But there's a lot of cards that they printed in this set that would probably be overpowered in other sets, like Flame Slash, 4 damage for 1 mana. Just because the games go super slowly. So there's an Ulamog, Draga Tree Speaker, Kozilek's Predator. Ulamog's worth like maybe 2.5 tickets, so I don't think I have to take it here. And Draga Tree Speaker is one of the better uncommons in the set, and I really like green ramp decks. And we're also passing Emrakul's Hatcher, and Kozilek's Predator is really good. Hatcher and Induce Despair. So passing a lot of also Frostwind Invoker's fine. So passing a decent amount of good red, and we're taking a green card and passing another good green card. So we might have to fight a little bit for pack 2, but it's pretty early to be talking about that. Okay, Hada Spy Patrol is pretty strong. There's a Kozilek's Predator, so I'll take that. Narcolepsy is also good. There's a Totem, it's called Totem Hartebeest or something. So there's a like Aura deck, and Narcolepsy goes well in that. But Predator is one of the best commons. And yeah, this goes with green, red, like Eldrazi spawn ramp, which might be the best archetype in the format. Some of those archetypes, like blue-white levelers, blue-black levelers, that's a pretty late domestication. I'll just take it. I mean, Dungler Invoker is one of the best commons. Domestication's a better card. Trying to remember what blue-green does. I mean, maybe enchantment themed. I feel like there's probably not that much synergy with blue-green. But yeah, it's a really late domestication, so I'll take it. Might be a big signal that blue's open. And here there's Bala Ged Scorpion would be the best card, and Praise Vengeance is fine. I don't really want to move into black at this point, so I'm just going to take Praise Vengeance. Wow, incredibly late Beastbreaker of Balaged. It's a first pickable card, so yeah, green. I mean, I already thought green was open, but that's pretty insane to see it this late. So our second color might just wait for pack 2 and see what's open. Like, we did pass a little bit of good green. So it's possible the person to... someone on our left might be cutting us for pack 2, but we pass cards in all colors, honestly. So I'm not really sure what we're going to see pack 2. So getting back to the archetypes, like a blue, black, red control deck with a lot of spells, and sometimes some instant synergy with Surreal Memoir, which gets back your removal spells and Mnemonic Wall, and sometimes you can run Sphinx's Bone Wand, the rare, that like charges up every time you play an instant or sorcery. So yeah, that's a pretty powerful deck, and because you get to draw from 3 colors, it might be the only consistent like 3-color deck in the format. But yeah, that's a pretty cool deck. Alright, we'll take a Might of the Masses. Share Discovery in a really heavy blue-green Eldrazi spawn deck could even be better than Might of Masses, but Might would also be good in that same deck. And I'm not really pushing to be blue, though. Yeah, that domestication was kind of late. I guess since there was also the Invoker in that pack, was kind of late too. It might have just been a really strong pack, and I don't think I've seen big like signs that blue is particularly open. And I don't really want to pair blue with green anyway. I guess there was also a Narcolepsy in one of the packs. But I mean, I'd like to be red-green ramp. Black-green, like sacrifice ramp, also works. Okay, Smite, Survival Cache, or Cache, are both decent. Induce Despair is kind of late. Spawning Breath is pretty good. I mean, not really seeing the red from this direction. I mean, Induce is a bit of a signal that black is kind of open. We saw that Bala get Scorpion as well. I think I'm still just going to take the Spawning Breath. I would prefer to be red. We do have the Heat Ray already. And I think it just comes down to what we see in Pack 2. Like, we passed a Fork Bowl and an Emrakul Hatcher, so maybe that... I mean, it'll put someone into red, but I think I'd prefer to be red-green over green-black. And, I mean, the Heat Ray is much better than anything else we'll get for us of this pack, at least. Let's take another Might of the Masses. We'd want to get a pretty high creature count for that. Bloodthorn Vampire can be really nice if we do go into black. Pen and Blade is also okay. I think Might is just a little more, like, there's a little more flexible because Pen and Blade's kind of clunky. I think I'll take the Vampire though. I think it has the most upside in case we do move into black. And yeah, we'll take Evolving Wilds. Always nice to pick up one of those. And Prophetic Prism. It's perfectly fine. We could just splash the Heat Ray and go like a base of black-green. Probably the worst set ever for 2-mana 2/2s. It's interesting that Glory Seeker, while it's relatively unplayable in this format because it's just really hard to beat down, there's a lot of early defense, the decks are just really slow, and like there's a lot of cheap early removal as well. But in Onslaught block, Glory Seeker was almost a first pick because it got underneath Morphs and had the Soldier subtype, creature type. So I think this draft's going quite well. I think green is one of the best colors in the format, and I mean I've gotten some great green cards. So here there's another Domestication, Bramble Snap. There's Moldiah Channelers, which if I remember is pretty strong. It's a 2/2 for 3. Play the top card of your library revealed. If that card's a creature card, it gets +3/+3. And if it's a land card, you can tap it for 2 mana of any one color. Yeah, it's pretty insane. So it's either really good ramp, really undercosted creature, or you take a turn off, you just have a 2/2. Okay, Undo Giant, strong ramp card, 2/4 for 4. You get to search for basic land and put it into play tapped. Yeah, just like good card advantage. I mean, 2/4 is not a bad body. Passing Consume the Meek, and not too much else. Zulaport Enforcer. Another Kozilek's Predator, also Vendetta, Rapacious one. So it's between Predator and Vendetta. Since I could easily just not be black at all, I'm just going to take the Predator. I know I'm going to play the card. It is a bit weaker than Vendetta, and if I take Vendetta, I'd say I'm almost 100% going to play it, just because we have Evolving Wilds and Prophetic Prism already, and that makes the pick close, but still just going to take the Predator. And if we get a lot of Eldrazi spawn, we could take some cards that work well with them, like Raid Bombardment, which I'll take here. It's a bit of a fringe strategy, but we have Spawning Breath and 2 Predators so far. So you just get a bunch of Eldrazi spawn, and then you attack with them multiple turns and ping your opponent for a bunch of damage. And it also makes something like Ogre's Cleaver potentially playable. So for spending 7 mana, you can force your opponent to trade with one of your tokens. I'll take another Ondu Giant. Our 4 drops are incredible right now. I'd like to get some things to ramp into, some Eldrazi. Our Passing Totem Guide, Heart of Beast, Rune Servitor, Wave Watch is pretty strong. Snake Umbra is pretty solid. Null Champion if we're black is decent. Battle Rattle Shaman's fine, but we're pretty good on 4 drops, so we'll take the Umbra and give you some card advantage. It makes me a little more interested in picking up some good 2 drops. Goes great on the Beastbreaker. So after this pack, I didn't really find my second color. I could still go into any color, and because we have the 2 Ondu Giants, the Prism, and the Evolving Wilds, I can also splash just about anything that's single colored. And I could even go for a double splash. So if I open something like Deathless Angel, that's what it's called, it's like a 5/7 flyer for 4 and 2 white, I could probably pick that up and then even try to splash the Heat Ray in addition, because I have a ton of fixing right now. So, and I don't have much to ramp into for all the actual ramp cards I have. So, I think I'll take Lava Fume Invoker here. If we do go for heavy Eldrazi spawn, its ability could be pretty nice. I guess at the end of the draft, if I have no Eldrazi and nothing expensive, I'd probably play Hand of Emrakul, but it's not very exciting. And Soul Surge Elemental is pretty nice here, though. There's also a Scorpion. It's another 4-drop, but it goes great with Eldrazi spawn. So I'm looking for like an Ulamog's Crusher, Palaka Worm, a Nest Invader would be good. Brood Warden, which pumps up Eldrazi spawn. And I guess some more removal. But deck's still looking good, and I mean, we got past a lot of great stuff in pack 1, so I think pack 3 is probably going to be good. I'll just hate the Invoker here. Spider Umbra's playable, so I could take it, but I think we're going to end up with enough playables, and Invoker can be really tough to beat. Okay, I'll take a Stomper Cub. I mean, I am a bit short on like powerful cards. It's usually not that exciting, but you kind of have to take what you can get, so it's possible it ends up making the cut. And then I might also play the Ogre's Cleaver, just, you know, I think this deck could just stall out and get overpowered in a long game. So, yeah, just gotta play some cards that take advantage of having a good early game. Let's hate a Last Kiss, which I could also run, because again, I could be black. Take Perish Thought. It's an okay sideboard card for black decks. See Beyond. And we got the Hand of Emrakul, so I'm actually not sure if I've ever played this card, but this might be a worthy spot for it if pack 3 doesn't give us much. And another Channelers. Yeah, sure. I mean, it also makes a mana of any color, so like we're pretty far down on just being able to play any card we want. So that's pretty cool. Suppose we also want to keep our creature count a little bit high for this card, because it's likely at its best when you've got creatures on top, or at least, you know, you're gonna play whatever 17 or 18 lands anyway. But if you just have a higher percentage of creatures compared to spells, that makes these cards better. And also works for Raid Bombardment and Cleaver and Might of the Masses. So we have a lot of incentive to just play lots of creatures. So Brimstone Mage, Growth Spasm, Flame Slash. I like Flame Slash. Mage is pretty powerful. It is a little slow to get going. Once it gets going, it can just win the game by itself, which is cool. And we also don't have too much to do with our mana in this deck, and a lot of extra mana, but Flame Slash is just super efficient, and I'd like to get some more removal. Yeah, so I think Flame Slash is just better. Jotty Life Strider is pretty reasonable. It's good with Eldrazi spawn. You can gain a ton of life, like 8 or 10 life, and then have a big creature left over. So it's pretty cool. Not excited this early in the pack, but it's just not a good pack. Okay, Enclave Cryptologist is really good. You could try to just play the Domestication Cryptologist and then splash Heat Ray and Flame Slash. That's an option. Could also just take Might of the Masses, Battle Rampart. I don't think Rampart does too much here. I think I'll just take Might of the Masses. I don't really love... I mean, like, I've got a ton of fixing, but I still don't love pushing into blue at this point. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna take Might. If I could get a couple more strong blue cards from this pack. Wow, another Domestication, another Predator. Bramble Snap's very nice too. Man, I think I just take the Predator. Could have had 3 Domestications this draft. I mean, it's not a card that gets much better in multiples, because if your opponent has a really large creature, you can't really touch it. But let's take a Predator. And Wildheart Invoker, that's really nice to pick up here, because that can easily finish games off if you've got a lot of extra mana. So that's the kind of card we're looking for. So let's get rid of the Prism. Probably just going to be 2 colors at this point. Probably cutting Hand of Emrakul, though I could still consider running it. Probably cutting Raid Bombardment, because I do have a good number of Eldrazi spawn, but I also have a lot of just like fatties, and I think I'd rather go for like running the Might of the Masses and Ogre's Cleaver as a way to take advantage of having all the extra spawn. I think I'll hate Invoker here, though Prism's reasonable to hate too. So we're at 23 if we run the hand. I think the hand's probably fine here. Like, I do need stuff to do with extra mana. There's Pen and Blade. At this point, I think Pen and Blade does look good here. I only want to have so much of like Blade, Cleaver type effects, but I think we're going to end up with just a lot of creatures sitting in play and wanting a way to break through, so I think this is actually a good spot for Blade. Battle Rattle, Shaman versus a second Invoker. Shaman, I think, on its own is usually a little bit of a better card. I mean, with a lot of creatures, Invoker gets better, and we're also pretty clunky on 4s, so I think I'll take Invoker. And I guess Tunneler. Might be some matchups where 3/5's okay. I guess you can do some tricks with Tunneler, like pumping after using it. I'll take a Battle Rampart. Sentry is also okay for board. And another Rampart. So I think I'll cut... I think 1 Invoker. And maybe Cleaver, and just run the Blade. They're pretty similar. The Blade does give toughness, so it's better on just creatures like Ondi Giant, Predator, and it's also... they both cost 7. They're pretty similar as far as using them, but I mean, Blade is a little easier to move around. So I think it's, in general, a little bit better of a card. And we're at 17 lands right now. Probably want to do 18, but we do have a lot of extra mana sources. And I could cut Praise Vengeance. Could also probably just cut the Evolving Wilds. Like, my deck has a lot of incentive to just curve out from like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I mean, my mana is really good. I'm just splashing a few red cards, so I don't think I need it. So yeah, I could just go 17 lands. It does suck if I miss my 4th land drop, but I pretty much just need to get to 4, and then I'm set for the rest of the game. I don't mind getting up to 8 for the Invokers, but I think I do want to keep like my creature count high and my threat density high, because I think this deck can definitely flood out without doing much. So I think I'm just going to go 17 lands. It's usually an 18 land format, but I think I can get by with 17. I think there's it just, like, a lot of my cards just get a lot better if I play more creatures. So cutting a creature just to get the 18th land seems like I'm really diluting my deck a lot. So I'm going to go 5 or 6 mountains. I think 6 is fine. 11 forests. So we just need to get 1 mountain by like turn 3 usually. I think 6 should be fine. Could also go 10-7, but I really want to get the double green on turn 3 for the channelers. And yep. So I'll submit this. It's a Swiss draft, so we'll get to play 3 rounds no matter what, and I'll see you for round 1. Alright, ready for round 1. We'll play first. Yeah, hand's keepable. Makes me happy we're running 17 lands. So we have removal for opponent's first. Okay, Stomper Cub, good draw. Okay, they've got Slinger, Outrider. So the Slinger can tap down the Life Strider. So I think we'll start with Stomper Cub. Ah, Predator, that's nice. That is quite good. So the Outrider becomes a 2/6, so it does hold off the Stomper Cub. If we go Predator, well, Elemental is going to get, or no, opponent just played Slinger, so yeah, let's play Predator. And attack for 4 here. I mean, opponent can tap the Predator and then get in on, like, get in for some damage, but then I get to swing back, and I have Life Strider, so I can win a race. So yeah, just get in for 4. And Life Strider plus a bunch of Eldrazi spawns. I was saying, yeah, you can easily gain 8 or 10 life with this card. But probably might as well just keep waiting until we can gain some more life, so we'll play Stomper Cub first. Though you do have to tap all the creatures, so like if you just tap all your creatures, and you're not getting in damage that turn, and then your opponent can swing back. But if I just tap a few creatures, leave a couple back, hold them on defense, might be the best way to gain the most life. Or I could just tap everything. If opponent wants to attack, then I can swing back the next turn. And again, like, I'm just going to be far enough ahead in the race that, you know, any trade of damage is probably going to benefit me at this point. Okay, Narcolepsy on the Elemental. That's pretty good for opponent. The Elemental was eventually going to become a really big threat. So now opponent's probably sending everything. Could be a good turn for Life Strider. We'll take the full hit here. But I think Stomper Cub is just better to start with. And Invoker's nice. Gives us a nice endgame. Yeah, let's throw a Cub out there. And attack for 3. If opponent has removal spell for Cub, they can get some damage in, more than I'm getting in with the Predator, but you know, that's if they have removal for it. And like, even if they do, I still have a Life Strider, so I'm okay, you know, trading more damage. I'm okay taking more damage than I'm dealing. Okay, Venerated Teacher. That card can be really broken sometimes. In this spot, it's okay for opponent, but I mean, even if they level up all their guys fully, I don't think it changes too much about the current situation. Like, if they just pumped up the Outrider to 2/6 there, we'd be in a pretty similar spot than as we're in now. Okay, Praise Vengeance could be quite good here. So 1, 2, 3. Play Invoker. Could play Life Strider. I kind of want to send the Cub, though opponent probably has some blocks that would be good against that play. There's still a turn away from getting this to a 3/10. But they can get the Escort up to a 5/5 first strike next turn. So, I mean, it'd be great if opponent just puts Outrider on Stomper Cub and I attack. I get to Praise Vengeance to kill it. That would be good. But if they make a different block, like they put Oracle Teacher on it, I don't really want to trade Vengeance for 2 relatively useless creatures. I want to use it to win a combat against one of their like big creatures. And then the rebound wouldn't be effective because they would just get a 5/5 first strike. It holds off everything next turn. So I guess I'll declare attack step. I could go for Life Strider. I think I'm going to go for Invoker. Just like the more creatures I have out, the more life I can gain off the Life Strider, so there's no reason to hurry it out. And if you were my opponent, I mean, I attack with Cub there. Yeah, you could just put the Outrider on it, but it's like, you know, why am I sending Cub there knowing that you could just block with Outrider? Like, I must have something, and it makes it a little more likely that they're going to put Oracle and Teacher. Because, you know, against a red-green deck, having a 3/10 Vigilance out is pretty strong, so I don't think opponent would want to risk that in combat when they don't have to. Okay, another Teacher. That Teacher is pretty nice, though, because that gets them up to 3/10. And yeah, I don't have a great response to that. The teacher is really strong. The opponent gets to actually swing with Escort and Outrider here. And I don't have good blocks. If only this was a Might of the Masses. So I'm just going to take this hit. Could jump with a spawn on the 5/5, but I'm going to play Life Strider. So I think I'll wait. Can probably use it to chump on a future turn. Another Predator. Let's just go to combat. Does Predator change things? Opponent is a 3/10. Feel like I should probably get the Life Strider out. They go Predator. I guess I could maybe do some kind of double block and use Praise Vengeance to take out the Escort. If opponent doesn't have any tricks, so it's pretty risky. Like if I go for Predator, I guess I can just chump the Escort, go to 2, and then go for Life Strider the next turn. That's probably better than just going Life Strider here. And it is a little scary for opponent, I think. I mean, I could sack stuff to go for Life Strider, but I think I'm losing out on that deal. And because I do have Invoker, and now I have 8 creatures out, and I can activate off the spawn for Invoker. I mean, I feel like opponent can probably just make the same attack and still be safe, but it's getting a little bit scary. Also, if opponent goes, if they go for, I'll remove auto yields, but if they use Slinger at some point, I can use Praise Vengeance to counter it, or I can activate Invoker to counter it. So, yeah, I mean, things are maybe a little scary for opponent. If I draw a land, I don't have to sack. I only have to sack 1 spawn. So if they take the other spawns, that's 9 damage. And I have 4 other creatures, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, so they're not dying with that play, but there is definitely pressure on the opponent here. Again, I feel like they're probably still making just their optimal attacks of Escort and Outrider in. But I don't know, we're getting close to making things rough. I could also go for a big Life Strider, tap like everything. Whoa, what? Attacking with Slinger. This couldn't possibly make any sense. I'm trying to think of what could be in the format that they would attack with Slinger there. I mean, maybe they just meant like, oh, I'm going to tap something down with Slinger. Even that, I don't think makes too much sense. So they tap Predator. This is an opportunity to try to take out one of his creatures. I think I should go for it. Do I want to take out the 5? I mean, I probably want to take out the 310. I have 3 cards. I mean, I could get wrecked. Otherwise, I go to 2 and I chump. I mean, 2 and chump, and then Life Strider, gain a bunch. And that gives me some room. I could draw like a Might of the Masses, which could be a game winner, so I don't necessarily need to throw my board away in this spot. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go to 2 here. I mean, I don't know what like white pump there is. I would say kill me once I fall to 2. I mean, there could be a regress. Something like Eel Umbra would be really sick. Champion Drake. That's scary. This is 4/4 flyer. And Invoker. It's another flyer. Alright, so it's time for me to gain a bunch of life. So how much life? I think I'm probably going to use the Praise Vengeance on the Life Strider here when opponent tries to tap it on his turn. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to go up to 6, 7, so I'm going to go to 16, I think. Yeah, gain 14, so opponent can attack for 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They can almost kill me. Yeah, I mean, if I tap the Life Strider here, I think I die. 5, 6, 9, 11, 13, 17, 19. Yeah, I die. If I keep it untapped, so I go to 16. Opponent taps down Life Strider, I pump it. I can block the 5/5. So at 16, I take 4, 6, 8, 12, 14. So I think that's my line here. Now, if opponent actually makes an all-out attack, like last turn, they kind of went to attacks and then tapped with the Slinger. If they do that again, like it might be a punt that allows me to just win the game here. I don't think they're going to make that. Like I think they made a mistake last turn and they're not going to make it this turn. But that would be really cool if they made that play. Now, if they have a counter or bounce spell at this point, I'm dead. I mean, I played around it a moment ago, which I thought was reasonable, because I mean, I get like really blown out in that spot. And when I played around it, they didn't have Champion's Drake, Dongler Invoker in play, so I had a bit more time at that point. So they really want to use Slinger right now. If they make a big attack, okay. So Praise Vengeance on it. So Vengeance is going to rebound for next turn, assuming I'm not just getting blown out here by counter or something. And then I can make a big attack. If I draw land, I don't know, if land is going to be good enough. Opponent can definitely keep some creatures back here to be safe. And I mean, I'm certainly not stabilized because they've got 6 through the air. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 creatures. Like if I draw a land, that's like, each creature's minimum 3 damage. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures back, and some cards in hand. Probably some spells because they haven't been playing lands. But this turn is the first turn that they've. Not the first turn, but this is a special turn because their Core Line Slinger is down. So I do get to make like a big attack here, but going to be close to getting killed on the swing back. So, yeah, I mean, opponent could send their flyers. Depends how much risk they want to take. I don't know what cards I have left in my deck that are going to give me a victory here. Okay, Frostwind Invoker. Opponent gets another flyer. I mean, they can honestly just sit back here. Maybe attack with just Drake, or attack with nothing, if depending on how safe they want to be. I mean, I feel like it's pretty safe for them to send one flyer, and it does up their clock a little bit. Or I guess it doesn't. They need to send... Yeah, I guess it doesn't up their clock at all. I mean, it helps them out a little bit. It makes it so they don't have to send as many creatures on future attacks. Because they should be safe this turn. Okay, they're going to send both. So, I mean, Might of the Masses probably wins it for me. I have 2. Other than that, can't think of much that'll do it. Okay, so Praise Vengeance. I will put it on probably an Eldrazi spawn. And Tree Speaker. 5/9. Alright, so I'll play Tree Speaker, pump it up. And opponent can put me to 1 here. And then I hope to draw Might of the Masses. Whoa, that card is ridiculous. Transcendent Master. 6 levels with only 1 mana. I mean, it starts as a Nessun Courser, which is great. 3/3 for 3. 6 levels becomes a 6/6 lifelink. Like, what? And then 12 lifelink and indestructible 9/9. Like, it's just a ridiculous card. I mean, that's going to make it tough for me to win here. I mean, they're minimum going to be gaining 3 extra life. Are they leaving mana up and not pumping that? Because that's also extremely scary. I mean, at this point, they really only need to send... I mean, they only need to send 1 creature, honestly, but sending 2 is also fine. Alright, they're tapping out. I don't know, Might of the Masses might do it. Nope. And their deck is pretty sick. And Domestication could be cool. Can't believe I didn't even notice it, but I could splash the Donkler Invoker. It seems like it might be really good against opponent, so let's cut these. Let's get Plains in. Could put Prism in, but I think between the Ondu Giants and the Channelers, like by the time I get up to 8 mana, I should be able to cast the Invoker pretty easily. Do I have any auras? I could get the Heart of Beast in, but I guess I just have Snake Umbra. It's not really worth it. I could cut. Well, I like at least 1 red Invoker. I guess Praise Vengeance, probably the weakest card. Hand of Emrakul is fine. Alright. I think I'll try this. Ugh. I mean, people are pretty slow in this format. I still feel like just shipping this. Like, Invoker's pretty hard for me to get on turn 3. It's more of like after Anu Giant comes out. And I mean, it's really just Stomper Cub turn 5 and just no interaction, so let's go to 6. Definitely a stronger hand, like, I'd say almost objectively. I don't have red mana yet, but I actually have a pretty nice curve, and Predator plays better defense than the Cub. Alright, it begins. And we got our red mana. But I mean, I think blue-white decks could have a lot of trouble with the Invoker. I'm trying to think if we saw any removal last game, and I can't think of it. It's possible we just win the game once we get up to 8 mana. I guess a consistent 8 mana, because we could sack spawn tokens to get there the first time or two. And in that sense, I mean, maybe as early, even like if we draw another form of ramp, it could be even sooner than that, but could just be like turn 6 or 7 that we start locking down. On turn 7 we can sack an Eldrazi spawn, or we could sack 2 spawn on turn 6. And if we found another ramp form of mana by then, another Predator, Anu Giant, then we could just Invoker for the rest of the game if they don't have removal. And I don't think there's that much removal in blue-white. I mean, they might get one turn off, like with an end-of-turn bounce spell. Even then, like, there's not that much bounce. It's pretty much just regress. Okay, Venerated Teacher, it's pretty good here. That's a ton of mana gain. I get to maybe get in for 2 with the Knight. They sit back. I'm a little confused by that. Feels like they should be racing, right? Since eventually I just get to Invoker, they'd want to get as much damage in as possible. Or perhaps they do have good answers to Invoker and they want to just slow the game down until they draw one. I guess that also makes sense. Fortunately, I've drawn all lands this entire game after the mulligan. I mean, because once I get up to 8 mana, if I have to tap down every single turn, I can't really cast spells. Whoa, Time of Heroes. Opponent's deck, very sick. Yeah, like, I mean, if I drew, if I drew like one creature at any point, and I have like one more turn after this, Champion's Drake, jeez. Yeah, opponents had an unreal draw here. This is gonna be tough. Like, yeah, anything I do here is not good. Yeah, this is really bad. I mean, so I can chump with 1 spawn. This is tough. Well, sack Wilds, of course. Just gotta draw something. So, I mean, next turn I could just tap down, sack all the spawns, but then the following turn I'm going to take a giant hit. So I can chump with 1 spawn, go to 12. and then the next turn just start tapping down. I think that's all I can do. Alright, drew something. That's a good draw. So it could either give us mana, or it could just give us a lot of extra damage and let us finish the game quickly. And Pen and Blade, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to have that go off. So let's see what opponent can do. I mean, they've had a like whammy after whammy, and yeah, I mean, hopefully they don't play more relevant stuff. Alright, so pump that guy. Make a big attack. It's 4, 8, 12. So I have to block. I can't risk losing my spawn, so I have to chump with the Predator. And it's going to slow down my ability to finish the game, but I mean, I might have things under a pretty quick lock, and the Challengers helps quite a bit, because I might be able to get in for like extra 5 consistently. So yeah, just take the 8 here. Stop on opponent's beginning of combat. Opponent has Donkler Invoker. But I mean, they're only at 5 lands, so I don't know if they can get up. Could be a pretty dumb game if they can get up deeper. So we got, yeah, we can use the Channelers. We get to save the spawn, which is nice. So yeah, just opponent beginning of combat. Tap them down. So at this point we hope the opponent just draws like a bunch of creatures. Like, we don't want them to draw lands. We don't want them to draw spells. Just all creatures. Oh man, domestication. Crap. Like, I can't pump it. I lose. Yeah. Dang. Well, tried hard on that one, but yeah, opponent's draw was unreal. So yeah, it is a Swiss. That was just round 1, so round 2 will be coming up. I'll see you for that. Alright, so it looks like we got a bye in round 2, and we're on to round 3. So this is the finals, I suppose. We'll play first. Hand's probably okay, and if we get to 4 mana, we're looking pretty good. Not a particularly fast format, so if we miss a few drops, could be okay. I mean, a lot better on the draw, but I think it's fine. Okay, facing a 20-turn clock here. That's unfortunate. I mean, we can cast the blade. I think hand's probably a little better late game. I'm just going to pitch the blade here. Like, we draw a forest, we could put the blade into play. By the time we equip it, I feel like Hand of Emrakul is probably a little better. Okay. We'll trade off for the Basilisk. Now we're one land away of being relatively stable. If opponent doesn't have like a giant creature in hand, we've got all of our great 4-drops. Okay, like, Ondu Giant is the card I'd prefer to play. Just get more lands into play. Predator is a little safer, so if opponent has... I don't know. I mean, it gives us a couple spawn tokens in play I guess we could chump with, but I don't really want to be chumping these creatures currently, so I guess I am just going to go for the Giant. And Predator also potentially gives us more mana for next turn. I think Giant's probably better. If opponent had, like, even, I don't know, like one other reasonably sized creature, I think I'd want to go for Predator. This opponent's just Spawning Breath's EOT. That's pretty scary. Wonder if we're about to get Ulamogged here. Another Spawning Breath at the face. What is about to happen here? Oh, Hand of Emrakul, I guess. I mean, it's good, but it's not that exciting. We can just go Stomper Cub and Praise Vengeance to take out the hand. We'll sack one land. I have one card in hand. Palaka Worm. Looked like we just about won there, but the worm's a good one. Oh! Hello. 8 toughness creature. So I think we're just going to tap nothing. Should equal out to the same amount of damage, so opponent's best play next turn is going to be attack with Arsonist and Palaka Worm. Awakening Zone. That's usually a pretty scary card, but it's not doing anything at the moment. Okay, opponent missed that play. Because we have to actually take the Arsonist. If we kill it, they could kill our Life Strider. Flame Slash. So, you go Giant or Predator. Could get out Hand of Emrakul. I don't really like trading it for the Palaka Worm, but just having to play is decent. Could play Giant. I guess probably just Predator, kind of mixes up the threats as well. I mean, an opponent hasn't noticed the play. Like, I could Spawning Breath or Arsonist. I think I'm just going to go for another Ondu Giant. I go Predator. I don't feel like sacking Eldrazi Spawn to get out the hand. I feel like I can just slow things down a little bit and end up with more spawn left over. The one thing, though, is if I do start attacking with hand, if I do trade it for the Block Worm, I can start attacking with other creatures. So perhaps I do just want to get hand out as quickly as possible. That's pretty nice. That definitely makes me want to kill that Arsonist. So let's ping the Arsonist. Opponent just goes at face. Yeah, let's play this Elemental. 8/1 first strike. And then we've got like 3 creatures next turn, so it's gonna be held off by the Awakening Zone, I guess, but it just kinda eats a spawn every turn. Okay. We'll probably want to kill the Basilisk at some point. So I can sack a spawn. There's Snake Umbra. Yeah, Snake Umbra on the hand is going to be really good. So yeah, I can sack a spawn to play the Predator this turn. I could just Flame Slash the Basilisk. So next turn, I'm going to draw Umbra. I may or may not be able to get mana out of the Channelers. I feel like I want to slash the Basilisk. I mean, maybe there's a creature opponent plays next turn that's really threatening, like a Brimstone Mage that I'd want to save the slash for. And I don't know if I'm in a hurry to get the Predator out. I could just wait and save more spawn, keep my Elemental a little bigger. I could also just go Predator hand, sacking all the Elementals. I guess I'll attack with Soul Surge here. Yeah, maybe I'll go with that play. So I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures in play afterwards for the Elemental. So this speeds things up a little bit. Like, I'm throwing away some spawn and making my Elemental a little smaller, but I am getting some extra turns of having hand in play and swinging. So next turn I can go Umbra on the hand and Flame Slash the Basilisk, and then just start making big attacks. So that's gonna put a lot of pressure on opponent, even with their Awakening Zone. They're now going to have to like sack a permanent for Annihilator, chump, and chump. So they're going to have to sack 3 permanents every turn, or try to make some kind of block with Block a Worm and try to take out one of my creatures. Might of the Masses, not bad. So take out Basilisk and then Umbra on hand. get in there with Elemental in hand. So pretty crazy. We missed 4 draws trying to draw land on our 2-lander. Like had to discard, and I mean, the opponent hasn't played optimally, but I mean, we were able to come back into this game. I mean, it is a pretty slow format, so even though opponent went like 1 drop, 3 drop, which is kind of fast for this format, like the cards that they played just aren't that effective. So yeah, we'll take out the Palaka Worm. Opponent gets a draw card, but we'll still have our hand. And they're just going to have a 2/2. So if they don't have some kind of burn to the face, gelatinous ooze, when we're looking really good. We've got a ton of chump blockers. And we'll have Might of the Masses, so a really big pump spell. I mean, opponent's at 27, we're at 8, but I think we've got a really big advantage. Well, something big. Another Hand of Emrakul. And another Channelers. Wow, that's a lot of Channelers in this draft. They've got land on top, so we can get pretty aggressive here. Wow, another Might on top. That's great. So, I mean, we know opponent has a land on top and they have no cards in hand, so we can get very aggressive here and just put as much pressure on as possible. Since Might lets us basically kill whatever the hand blocks, we could leave back just enough to not die and just put completely max pressure on opponent here. So this is a pretty good spot to study to try to find the perfect play, because I think a lot of people just go for like elemental hand attack here, but I think you can go pretty hard into this attack. So I think Predator definitely is getting in. Predator is getting in. I think both Giants get in, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Might really saves anything here. I don't want opponent to put Nest Invader on our Channelers, because I'm probably just going to have to let that trade. But I think the Life Strider can probably get in. I mean, I don't know if opponent can take this. They put Spawn on Elemental, so they take 7, 10, 12, 14, 16, 19, did I do that right? 10, 12, 15, 17, 19, plus 4, 8. So they take 27 if they just block with the Spawn. So that means, yeah, if we leave one creature back, if they have hand... Oh, and yeah, so they could have a creature on top. So that's what I'm trying to play around here. If they have a creature on top and they just take everything. But if they just leave hand and Channelers up, then we'll have like a chump blocker, so we can't die. So I think we actually make like a really big attack here, and we'll just leave Channelers back. If we send Channelers in, opponent could, I think they could double chump, and then if they have a creature on top, I guess they just win regardless. So yeah, I think this is the perfect play here. I mean, the opponent knows we have Might of the Masses, so I mean, they might as well just put the hand on our hand, since we're going to use Might to save it. So I don't like their play here. Wait, so 10, 12, 14, 16, so can't quite kill them. So let's put this on Predator, and that means that we have the win next turn. So they draw land, they've got 3 creatures back, and we can use Might on whatever's unblocked. And yeah, go into game 2. Sleuth already. So opponent's red-green, they've got a couple spawning breaths, a lot of ways to get spawn tokens. And this would be a really bad matchup to put the Dongler Invoker in, because the spawning breaths, the Arsonist, it should be pretty hard for us to keep that in play. Yeah, Blood-Red Invoker would also be bad. So Lava Fume Invoker might be okay. This would be a spot where if you have some like a lot of 1 toughness creatures, like the Soul Surge Elemental should be bad against our opponent. But you know, was very good there. So like we could cut it for Invoker just so we're a little less susceptible to their spawning breaths, which is probably reasonable. Just Elemental is a lot more exciting of a card. We can just take over games, could hold back opponent's Eldrazi. Also, we could play Elemental and have like a Might of the Masses up or Praise Vengeance, so we can maybe protect it from one single point burn spell. So I think we're just gonna submit again. Okay. Yeah, pretty good hand. It's got these two of the weaker cards in our deck that are both for like super late game and kind of fulfill a similar role, so that kind of sucks, but other than that, Ondu Giant's just such a strong 4-drop. This bridges like mid to late game really well, so I think the hand's pretty good. And another Giant is nice. Okay, opponent's got the early Awakening Zone. This is a lot scarier than the one last game, because they still have a lot of cards in hand. So we'll put out Invoker. Hatcher. They have a lot of, I think they had 2 Hand of Emrakul's and a Palaka Worm. So this could be really scary. They could drop a ridiculous fatty next turn. I mean, our hand looks pretty good, but theirs is very explosive. Let's get the Force into play. And it's possible they just don't have anything, but it seemed like they had a high concentration of fatties. Okay, Soul Surge Elemental. Nest Invader. I could still have the hand here. Nope. So Elemental is definitely scary. Predator gives us a lot of room here. And we could maybe hook Pen and Blade onto something. The problem is opponent gets a creature every turn, so Elemental just keeps getting bigger. I might actually just take the first Elemental hit, because like every creature we have out is pretty important. So I think I'm going to go Giant. And next turn, Predator Blade. Hopefully we draw a burn spell for the Elemental, or just like, I guess another Predator buys us some time. Uh-oh. This looks like Palaka Worm, yep. Opponent skipped through their attack step. Oh, actually, I guess I could have blocked with both Ondu Giants there, so makes sense that they wouldn't want to attack. Might of the Masses, great draw. So we've got 8 mana. We can go Predator, Blade. We could just throw Blade on something, but yeah, like Predator, Blade, hold up Might of the Masses. So yeah, I mean, we might just trade Might of the Masses for their Palaka Worm and a card here. Okay, get another token into play, so their Elemental's a 9/1. It's... ooh, Raid Bombardment. We're still at 20. I mean, Bombardment eventually will kill us with Awakening Zone. Like, it does give opponent a lot of damage over time. Alright, Channelers. We could run out Hand of Emrakul. I like getting Blade on something. So let's go Channelers and Blade. Probably on an Ondu Giant. Invoker is pretty good here. I mean, giving Trample to something with Pen and Blade on it, or like the hand, could be nice. So we want to do it Predator or Giant. I think having a higher toughness is probably better. But we might start attacking with this creature at some point. So it's a 9/11. And we could attack here. Like if we Might of the Masses, we get a 9/11. And opponent's going to have 10 first strike. I mean, I would love to just be eating one of my opponent's Eldrazi spawn every turn if possible. So I think this is actually a reasonable attack. I don't think opponent has like great blocks. I mean, they're going to chump with the spawn token, but that means 1 less damage to us. It means the elemental's a little bit smaller. Okay, well, opponent just takes it. So, yeah, might be, wouldn't say it's free damage, but might be 9 damage. We'll see what opponent wants to do with their turn here. Like, we are still at 20. Okay, they make another guy. So their elemental's starting to get pretty big. I might have to put a spawn token in front of it here. Considering they have the Raid Bombardment, I'm not willing to take like a hit for 11 just to keep my Blade and Might of the Masses bigger. So if they send the Palaka Worm, we can use Might of the Masses to take it out. If they send the Elemental, I'm just going to jump with the spawn token. Okay, so they're making a big attack. I mean, I wonder if I could kill my opponent next turn? I don't think so. Yeah, they just blocked the Ondu Giant for 7, maybe 9 minimum, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I wouldn't assume that I could kill my opponent. Well, yeah, they have no cards in hand. So, like, our channelers can just take out the Hatcher. That's a pretty easy block. Yeah, spawn token on the elemental. Yeah, their attack is kind of sketchy here. I mean, well, let's see. We have Invoker. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 7 mana. Potentially 9. Like, there might be a way, I'll take a little time on this, there might be a way that we can take a good deal of damage. I mean, definitely channelers on Hatcher. Maybe not spawn on Soul Surge. Giant right here. I guess we'd put we could put Giant here, Predator there. So we take 7, go to 7. Opponent has 2 creatures back. So in our turn, we draw. I don't know what's going to happen with the channelers, so I'll assume we just have like a random spell on top, and so it's just a 2/2. Because I don't think we necessarily have to take huge risks here. But if I can guarantee a win, then I'm going to go for it. Otherwise, I'll just make the safe blocks here, take out their Palaka Worm. But I might be able to win here. I'm trying to determine that. I guess we might as well block their spawn token with a 2/2. So if we block like this, so our giant's going to die. They're going to have 2 creatures back. And we're going to have Channeler, Predator, Giant, Invoker, and 2 spawns. We draw a card. We play... I guess we wait on the might. Okay, so we draw a card, we attack with everything. Opponent blocks the Ondu Giant, and they block the Predator. So we've got 2 spawns, Invoker, Giant, and Channelers getting through. So that's 6 damage times, or plus... okay, this is going to be complicated. I think it actually comes down to having to sack the spawns and what this all works out to be. So opponent blocks 2 creatures, so 2 creatures are getting through. Oh no, 1 creature's getting through. We're losing a giant. So 1 creature gets through, other than the spawns. We've got 7 mana, so we need to sack 1 to give +3/+0. So that's not going to be enough. And then the Might of the Masses isn't going to be enough. So I apologize for people who like figured this out immediately, but doesn't look like we're going to be able to make an all-in attack next turn. So just because, yeah, like we just don't have quite enough mana. If we could pump with Invoker and cast Might without losing all these Eldrazi spawn, then we could do it, but I don't think we'll be able to. So with that being the case, let's put a spawn here. Let's put the giant there. Or we gotta put, actually, can we put the spawn? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can put the spawn on the Palaka Worm. And, yep. So we'll might the spawn. Resolve damage. Okay, heat ray on top. So let's see if we attack with everything and use Invoker. Okay, opponent just concedes. Alright, so I went pretty deep for that match on a few turns, but I think those are the spots where, you know, let's say if this was like a live tournament, like a Pro Tour, and we were in that spot, like, there's no way, we wouldn't actually have time to do all that math and, like, figure out that spot, because it was pretty complicated. And, like, I would never just go to my turn after taking a big bunch of damage, you know, without knowing that I could win. And with all the Eldrazi spawn and, like, the activations and, you know, it was a pretty complicated spot. But I think the more that you practice figuring out the actual right answer to those spots and just like treat them like homework or something, the easier it is in an actual game to, you know, just go through the process. Or sometimes you just have to estimate if you have enough. You just get better at it after practicing. So hopefully that was useful for you guys. And I'm sure there's someone out there who's just like, who just added up in like 3 seconds. It's just like, okay, we can't attack back. And it's just like trying to fast forward. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the draft. Yeah, Rise of Eldrazi, pretty fun format. Just a lot of crazy stuff going on. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.